Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Seltover from Spot On Agility, and today I'm going to talk about 9 reasons why your dog may be slow in the weed poles. All right, so where this topic came from was someone wrote me and said, how do I speed my dog up in the weed poles? And of course I had 9 questions back for them because there are lots of different ways to speed your dog up in the weed poles, but in order to figure out which one is the best method to use or methods, you really have to pinpoint what's going on. So let's talk about those 9 items. So item number 1, the first question I would always ask is your dog weaving independently, or are you luring them or somehow aiding them in the performance? So for example, we kind of used to call it the weed pole dance, where you'd be going back and forth and, having one foot push over and back. And that can actually cause slow weave poles, because what's actually happening is if the handler is cueing every single step for the dog, then the dog isn't taking responsibility and they're not figuring out their own weave work. They're literally, potentially looking to the handler to do it. So in a case like that, I would definitely, if you have some sort of luring going on or assistance from the handler, we need to get the handler out of the picture on that. So that would be what I would consider, the number 1 thing to look for. Number 2, does your dog understand the weave footwork? So I'd be looking at what they do. Are they a single stride dog as they're going through, or are they a double stride dog, or do they have some combination thereof where they're doing maybe a single and a double stride? Or I would be looking to see, is the dog doing sort of a crossover? That says to me that the dog doesn't understand what the footwork is, and that would be another thing that you could speed up to make it more efficient for the dog, is to teach them proper footwork. Number 3, can they find the entry on their own, and can they stick it? So when you're looking at the weed poles, there's 3 different parts. At least that's how I train it. There is the actual weaving section, there's the entry section, and then there's the exit. The first thing I would be looking for is at the entry. Does the dog understand that as they're coming toward that entry, they actually should be driving toward it and then collect their body before they begin the footwork? That would be, one way to understand, or to see if the dog actually understands what what they should be doing in the weave poles physically. And if they don't understand, then we need to help the dog with that. Okay, number 4, I would want to know, where is the dog looking? Are they looking straight down? Are they looking to the handler? Are they even looking away from the handler? So those are the things that I would be looking for, is where is the dog looking? That would be an interesting thing to see as well, because that also tells me where the dog is focusing. Number 5, are they making it through all the way to the end, or are they just kind of popping out? That's, again, going back to the 3 stages of the weaves that the dog needs to understand. Are they making it all the way to the end? That would be a good question. 6, are they consistently slow? If a dog is consistently slow, then that says to me that that is the behavior that they think is what is desired. So if the dog has always been slow and that's been acceptable, well, you've created a pattern there that the dog just thinks that's the speed they do the obstacle at, and that would need to change if you want to speed up the weed poles. Okay, number 7, does their speed vary? So do they enter slow and then speed up, or do they enter fast and then start to slow down? That, again, focusing on the 3 parts of the weed poles would tell me what is going on with the dog, and it may also be a combination of a few of these things. So quite often a dog makes it in and then they start to look at you, so there could be a combination of things going on. All right, number 8, I would always look to see, is there something physically at play that the dog has, slowed down? So is there a neck injury, a back injury? Is there something going on with the shoulder, the hips? And one of the things I would be asking right off the bat is, was the dog fast and now they've slowed down? That would be a big thing that I would look at. Start to look for some patterns on that one. But definitely, check out to make sure that there isn't anything physically wrong with the dog as well. And then last but not least, number 9, and this seems like it would be an obvious one, but another question I would ask is, have you built the love and joy for this obstacle from the dog's point of view? I mean, do they approach the obstacle and they're like, oh my gosh, I've got to do the weave pulls? I would also be asking, what's the handler's attitude here? Are you like weave, or wee, 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 weave? If there's some sort of a disconnect between the handler's attitude and the dog's attitude, or again, if you've never actually focused on making this a fun obstacle and something worthwhile that the dog should drive on through and have an excitement for, that's a problem. And quite often we forget about that. We think that dogs sometimes should just come up with their own excitement or just do it the way that we think. But we actually do have a lot of influence on the perception that the dog has to that obstacle. So those are the 9 reasons that your dog, may be slow in the weave poles. And until you figure out why that dog is slow, it's you're just going to be kind of blindly throwing darts at how to make them speed up. All right, guys, as always, I love your questions. You can reach me at lisa@spotonagility.com. And I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week and happy handling.